Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Zach's Soapbox. This is the video for the week of Friday, August 1st, 2025. Welcome to my little corner of YouTube and my little corner of the world where once a week I talk about whatever I want. We release a video every Friday here. We've been getting a lot of new subscribers and followers and views and things. Thank you all very much for being here. Please feel free to like, comment, and share on this video if you've got something out of it. I hope you do. You know what I mean? And like I said, because this is my corner of Facebook and my corner of the world, I'm going to talk about whatever I feel like and want to talk about. So this week, I'm going to say that you are not what happened to you. I know that sounds cliche, but I think that life is kind of like a book. We all have chapters that are dark. We've all been through things that we prefer not to talk about. But you know what? I'm going to talk about some of those things. I think that sometimes life can also be like a garden where, like with a garden, you might put down compost, manure, things like that, things that are dead. But then up from those dead, the dead shit, the dead manure, comes a beautiful flower, a beautiful rose. A garden starts out with compost, with dirt, with, fertilizer and things like that. So I think sometimes life can be like a garden. Um, let's see. Okay, when I was little, I was a bedwetter, and I used to get beat every day almost for it, no matter how hard you hit me, because wetting the bed is a medical condition. No matter how hard you hit me, it's not gonna make me not wet the bed, right? Okay, so, I used to get hit so hard that the board would break, like, they hit you with a 2x4 and it splits. He's hitting you, they're hitting you so fucking hard. And then I got to go to school, and then I'm wheelchair bound as well. So not only am I a child, but I'm a handicapped child and I can't run. And so then you got to go to school when you have black and blue marks and welts all over your ass. And you have to sit down because you can't stand up because you're wheelchair bound. Okay. I remember when I was about second or third grade, they even sent the school nurse home with me, and whatever she said to my mom, as soon as they left, I got my ass whooped so bad for telling that, well, don't tell anybody, because, one of the things I was told was that, well, in foster care, they chain you down and they keep you in a room and all they do is collect money on you, this and that, this and that. So, not to mention, I loved my mom and I loved my sisters and everything, so you kind of keep secrets because you don't want to kind of separate and break up the family. You know what I mean? Where, like, say, me and my siblings all go live in different places, or I never see my mom again. No matter what my mom, did or let happen to me, I always loved my mother. But one of the best things I ever did was say, yeah, Mom, I love you, but you can't be in my life. And to be honest, one of the best things I ever did was remove someone I cared about deeply from my life. It was one of the hardest things I ever did, but it was well worth it. Like the last 10 years of my mother's life, I didn't talk to her but twice, really. And she wasn't my mom anymore, you know what I mean? But that's a whole other debate. I don't want to go on to that right now. But the thing is, I also remember one time I was about 8. I don't remember what I did. I don't know if I fell down when they used to make me walk, to the point where, like, my legs would hurt and I would fall down and have cramps because they were making you walk. And then you're forced to walk around the house to the point where you fall down, and then if you fall down, you get your ass beat. So you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. I never understood like why someone would stay with someone who does that to them in their, children and, seeing, people get their ass beat, like mom get her ass beat by her different boyfriends, etc. I just kind of assume maybe there's something she saw in these people that I didn't. Um, but I will say, uh, it's better to raise a child right the first time than trying to repair a broken adult. Sometimes I feel like I'm too broken for love, for um, almost like I don't deserve things. Almost like because of my past with physical abuse and things, that I almost grow up feeling inferior and that I don't deserve things, that I don't deserve a better life, like I did something wrong. Um, I remember one time, like I said, I don't know what I did, but I must have fell or something, and I'm being slapped, and the person is spitting in my face, and I used to chew Copenhagen tobacco, and like I was crying because I'm being struck, and I remember the spit burning into my eyeball from like the tobacco, and like shit like that, and then I'm not sure if you can see it, but I don't know about the lighting in here. But under my left eye here, there's a scar from where I was actually hit in the face with a shovel. The story they told everybody was that, oh, there's a bat in the house and Zachary fell over and kind of cut his face on the shovel, when actually, in fact, I was hit with the shovel. And so I had to have stitches in my, the camera's not going to pick it up, but under my left eye here, I've had that since I was about 6 or so. But so anyway, I just want to say that you are not what happened. I know it's almost cliche to say you're not what happened to you, but the past is kind of like a book where there's chapters in there, but that's just the point, that it is the past. And so, like, this life is a series of experiences. Some are good, some are bad, some are indifferent, but they're all learning experiences. So what I've chose to do to kind of process my trauma is, like when I see a little kid, I always say hello. I always talk to children, that sort of thing. Because when I see them, I always smile with them, because it's almost like I see myself when I see a child. You know what I mean? I always take the time to say hello to a child, speak to a child, you know what I mean? That sort of thing, to where I don't want to use it to be a bitter asshole or to be a drunk or to be a druggie. I'd rather use my past to be a learning experience and to let others out there know that you are not alone, that other people have been through whatever you're going through too. And there are other people out there that have been through what you've been through, and that, your past isn't your future, and that your life is not over because you've suffered some setbacks and some traumas. Life continues on. Just about everyone that's ever done anything to me at this point is now dead, all but one of you. So, you know what? Good riddance to you. And that's the way I feel about it. One of the best things I will say about me living out here in Vegas is that I've moved on. And by moving away, it's almost like, in a way, I've almost left the past behind, and the future is what I make it. And the longer I live out here, as much as I'm a country boy at heart and would like to go home, the truth is I need the infrastructure to maintain my independence and get around. And there's no real home to go to. You've been gone so long that it's a little bit like stepping in the same river twice. After 5 years, even if you went right back to where you were as if this never happened, it's not going to be the same place. And you're not the same person. You know what I mean? Because you've suffered so many trials and tribulations and experiences, it's changed you as a person. But I've chosen not to be a bitter asshole. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not mad at God, so to speak, in air quotes. I'm not, a, any kind of druggie. I've never did drugs. I'd rather use my life to be an advocate than to be a case of, oh, he's a head case, or, oh, he relies on different substances to process his trauma. I process the trauma by, making video, but I'm making this video not for pity or for sympathy. I'm making this video so some kid out there who's been through some things knows that he's not alone. He or she is not alone. That I'm making this to know that whatever happened in life is not the end. Life is not over till you're taking your last breath. And life is, like I said, like a story where there might be some bad chapters in that book, but the fucking ending is never written. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? So like a garden, there might be some dirt, some compost, some dead things. But what rises up out of those dead memories and that dead past could be the most beautiful flower in the world. And that's your story to write. You know what I mean? And, all this, oh, Zach, you overcome your disability, your wheelchair, this and that. Shit, dude, my disability is the least of my fucking worries. You'd be surprised how often my disability doesn't even come up. You know what I mean? I will say that I do have trouble with like relationships and, things like that, because I have trust issues, number one, which all relationships, be they friendships, romantic or otherwise, are all based on trust, intimacy, things like that. So I have trouble with that, and it's not because I'm socially stunted, because I'm disabled. No, that's bullshit. It's because you put up fucking walls that are pretty high, that sort of thing. Like I said, like I'm just like every other human being. You know what I mean? And I'm not my wheelchair, and I'm not what happened to me, and I'm not my past. Okay? I am my present, and I am my future. I'm not what happened. I'm a story of triumph because I choose to be. So this is my life. I'm the author of this fucking story, and I'll live it the way I want. The last chapter hasn't been written, and I'll talk about whatever the fuck I want. This is my soapbox. This is my corner of the world, and ain't no motherfucker gonna tell me that I can't talk about whatever I want. Okay? So, what else? So that's the thing though, is like, not only was it one person, it was multiple people. I was even urinated on. One of my mom's boyfriends used to do that because I was a bedwetter, you know what I mean? And that sort of thing. Like I'm just laying there peeing myself because I'm quote unquote lazy. What I wish they would have did, instead of trying to always make me walk and all this bullshit, what they really probably should have did was bought me a weight set. Imagine how strong I would be today if I would have started lifting 20 and 30 years ago. But no, nobody wants to get him strong enough where he could whoop somebody's fucking ass, because then we're scared of him. You know what I mean? Funny how as soon as people are done like using you and you're no longer the plaything, everybody wants to forgive and kind of forget what happened. Well, I didn't. You know what I mean? And the people I'm talking about today are dead, so there's no worries there. But anyways, your story is never really finished until you finish it. Okay? So, certainly things like our past can help define us, but it's just like any other experience. You take what you can learn from it and then discard the rest. Or you can at least try to, even if you got to go to counseling or treatment or take medications, that's fine. Just try to be the highest ideal self that you all hope and wish to be. Try to be the best person you can. There's going to be good days and bad. But God damn it, never give up. Ever. You think this fucking wheelchair's You know, the thing that defines me, it isn't. You know, you think I've been through a lot by being in a wheelchair? Fuck, the wheelchair's the least of my worries. I haven't even fucking touched the tip of the iceberg with, you know what I mean? Some of the stories I could tell. I don't want to get too far into it because I don't want to get too fucking worked up. But, you know, and then, like, I don't know. The thing is I'll never understand is there are people that knew what was happening and did nothing to change it or stop it. And that's kind of what will always get me. But it's your story. You finish it. Fuck everybody else and fuck what they think.